Hey everybody, you know what time it is? It is Sipping with Sue time. I am Szu-Moy, and if you are joining me for the first time, we are live on Facebook, YouTube, and X, chatting with real people doing real things extraordinarily. And if you haven't gone over to my YouTube channel, please do subscribe, hit the bell to get all of the latest content as soon as it is uploaded. So I have been dying to chat with this extremely creative and talented friend of mine, and I'm so happy to welcome Glenda James of GeedaJ Fashions. Welcome, girlfriend. Cheers.
Yay! Cheers to
It's
water.
to water. Oh, you've got water. Okay. Well, hey. It's all good. But I have been trying to get in touch with you for so long and trying to get our
Yeah.
schedules matched together. So I'm so happy to finally have you on the show to talk about all of what you do and all of the stuff you can even see behind her if you haven't even like clicked in and clued in. She is a fashion connoisseur. She just knows what looks amazing. So just for the folks that don't know who you are, can you just give us a little bit of background on yourself so that folks can get acquainted with you?
Well, I'm Glenda and I'm originally from the Caribbean. I've been in the US for 20 something years and I now have been in Texas for 12 plus and I love it. I love Texas. I love the weather. Being from the Caribbean, I love everything warm. So, with my upbringing, everything was always vibrant and flowery and beautiful. So I think that's where I get all my inspiration from. And yeah, so I'm here in Texas with my family. I have three handsome teenage boys. Well, soon to be one adult and soon to be another adult and a 15-year-old. So we are kept busy, my husband and I. So yeah, and in my spare time, I make dresses. So
Mhm. Yeah, she's in your interior design, I think by trade, right? So you do
yes,
interior design. She's also a
so
wonderful artist and painter. So you're just like the creative guru.
yeah, I can't stop. It's kind of like a curse. I get up at night and I want to create something, or in the middle of the night, I have an idea. I gotta get up and go sketch it, and it's weird.
No, it's
Yeah.
lovely. I absolutely think that's fantastic. So please tell us what sparked your interest in designing, particularly fashion design.
So when I was in back home in the Caribbean, we call it primary school, but it's literally elementary school here. So I get in a lot of trouble. Even when I was in college back home, I get in trouble because instead of doing my work, I'd be sketching dresses and, I'd be playing with fabric. I bring fabric to school. So I've always had the interest in it. And I'm self-taught. I did not go to school for fashion. I did not go to school for sketching. So all of it is just my brain that creates it and God for sure. I have no idea. Sometimes I start with a design, I have the fabric, and sometimes I have no idea what I'm doing. And then I end up I'm like, okay, I'll do this, I'll do that. And then it's like it's a masterpiece in people's eyes, but not in mine.
Oh my goodness.
So
You have created some beautiful masterpieces, and I don't think it's just in our minds. I think it's definitely in a lot of people's minds. You can see it. So you should
thank
see
you.
that too.
Thank you.
Yes. So so you're preparing for something really exciting. So it's a fall New York Fashion Week show, and it's not the first time you've been selected to go to New York Fashion Week. So I just wanted to get a little bit, and I'm sure there's a lot to it that goes into preparing designs for something as lucrative as New York Fashion Week. So tell us about that.
Well, I will be having 15 looks that I will have to showcase on the runway. And the truth is, it could be a little bit hectic coming up with because there's so many ideas that could be out there, but you have to be unique. You want to go on the runway. Well, I want to go on the runway where it has never been seen before. I want people to be at wow at every piece. So getting prepared for that, it's literally again my brain. I'm like, okay, I'm doing the show. I was invited to do it. I gotta give them what they ask for. I want it to be like not just fashion, but I want it to be art. I want it to be the wow statement. I want everybody to connect with my pieces, regardless of what is in their life, that they could connect and say, oh my goodness, that reminds me of something I did before or something I've seen before, but still pretty unique to the point where it's artistic, creative, and out of the norm. So that's how I'm preparing for it. It's a story to tell, I guess,
Oh
when
yeah.
it's on the runway.
Yes. Okay. So I love how you place that and put that analogy into it. So this is your second time, or how many times have you been invited to New York Fashion Week?
I have done New York Fashion Week twice. I did Caribbean Fashion Week. I was selected to be one of the designers that actually live here in the US, but is from the Caribbean. I did that. So it's kind of like, I wouldn't call it international. It's like just Caribbean designers trying to do their thing here in the US. And then I was selected to do another fashion week. I think it was 2022. And that was pretty good because it was literally the huge red carpet scene and all of that. So again, I had pretty much unique stuff and got pretty well known with like the magazines and newspapers, and so it was fun. And I haven't done it in a while, so this is gonna be good in my system. I need it, so I'm excited.
So outside of I guess, well, going back to the story and telling the story on the runway, how do you choose the specific designs that are going to go on the runway? And how do you choose the models that will represent your line for that storytelling piece for New York Fashion Week?
Yeah, so for my pieces, I wanted to have this amazing. So when I don't select the pieces because they are actually being made as time goes by before the show. So I gather my thoughts on the story and the color theme that I want to use and fabrics. So you've seen my stuff. I like to mix and match fabric. I go with lace and rope, and I've done everything. So I like to do a little bit of mixed with texture. So my collection this year, it's going to be a little bit of whimsical and bright to dark, and so it's going to be a mixture of everything. It's going to be a mixture of tulle fabric and lace and ropes, and so it's going to have a little bit of everything. So this is my helper right there. So yeah, but so that's how I select that's how I come up with my story. I'm like, okay, and I like unconventional design, so I'll have a little bit of that. And for my models, whenever you do a show in a different state, obviously you have to have a casting call. But so what they generally do is select the models, you give them measurements of what you want, regardless if it's small, medium, height, whatever you want. You kind of come up with a theme of what is your requirement. And then when there's a casting call, when I get there, I select the models that I think that goes with certain pieces. So I have some pieces that I know, depending on the person walk, it will showcase better. I have pieces where I like models to kind of look shy on it. And I have pieces that I have models that just want to be crazy on the runway. So I kind of have a mixture of that. So like that, when I select my models, it feels like it's not just a certain type of model. It's a big variety of different size, color, height, and so on.
I know you've been amazing to for that,
Yeah.
specifically on being very inclusive. I know that I walked for you and you had this
Yeah.
stunning dress that I had to pull into my wardrobe. Actually, I have three of your dresses. But
Yeah.
when I
Well,
walked
not
for
only
you,
one piece you've had, you buy more than one pieces from me. So that's, thank
yes, I
you for
have.
that.
But the one that I walked with you for that when I went to to go in for that show, you're like, I created this thing and I think this is the one you should wear. And
Yeah.
yeah, and it fit me like a glove. I don't think you had measurements.
No, I don't do measurements. I just need a picture.
It fit me absolutely perfect. It was just the most stunning, gorgeous piece that I have in my closet today. So I think
Thank you.
that's an eye that I think that I don't know. I sometimes I can't see half the time what I'm looking at or what I want to wear and what, from day
Yeah.
to day. And you're like, boom, I've got this.
Okay. I'm glad that you like it. You're always my biggest supporter. Thank you for
Oh
that.
yeah, yes, yes. And for folks that haven't seen her stuff, I mean, she's got some of the things that she's created in the background, but I mean,
Yeah.
you've got to visit her and see her stuff. I mean, I think you can just basically place somebody in something and it would be amazing for those
Yeah.
stuff.
Thank you.
Um, but so the storyline, we're gonna keep flowing with that. Are there, you said whimsical, are there particular themes that have really grabbed at you for this upcoming show, or that's you said it's whimsical, it's a little bit of everything, but was there something particular that kind of drew you in to pick these particular 15 patterns for the dresses and stuff?
No, the truth is, it's really what I feel at the moment. I've been working on everything for about 8 months. So even prior to being invited to the show, I had already started thinking of stuff for a runway collection. I don't know if I knew that something was going. I mean, I've always been asked, but I just kind of was holding back because I feel like it was too much work. I always had an excuse. And I was like, well, I already have 8 pieces or 6 pieces ready. I don't have much to make. So for the material, you can see over there. So I have my sketches and a sneak peek.
Yes.
I have my sketches that I go by. And the crazy thing, knowing me, it's kind of like, I don't know if you do that. You have an outfit you're going to wear for an event, and then it's the day of the event, and you're like, ah, I don't feel that dress today. It's like that sometimes with my sketches. I have this whole sketching line and sometimes I go by it, and sometimes I kind of tweak it a little bit. I'm like, okay, I'm going to add this, but I'm going to add that. So I kind of have to change the sketch. So it's like that with my designs. So yeah, but the fabrics that I'm using, and I will have a lot of I don't know if I can turn this around. These are some of the other stuff that I'm working on. I don't know if you can see.
Yes,
So you
yes.
can see I do have some rope stuff, and so yeah, but it's a lot. It's a lot of work.
Yes. So, and then are you shipping all that stuff out? Like how does that entire thing work? Because you're going in a completely different location. You're not going to be showcasing your line in Texas. This isn't a Texas runway show. It's not a Texas fashion show. It's New York Fashion Week. So how does that entire process work? You finish all of the designs. Do you ship them out or do you chunk them with you? How does that work?
So when I travel with my designs, I for some of my pieces they actually need their own suitcase, because they're so big. And so I'll have that where I may have multiple suitcases. Of course, I'm gonna have helpers.
Yeah,
I
like that one.
swear. He's always in my room. Like this is literally his room.
Hmm.
But for for transporting everything, of course, I want my pieces on the same plane that I'm going to be. I want them with me. The crazy thing is that I can whip out a piece if I need one while I'm over there. I'll come up with some ideas, but I want them to be with me on the same plane, and that I know it's going to get there versus I'm sending it. And because when I get to New York, I will have a hotel, but not a location where someone can get a package for me. So I will have my sewing machine. I have portable sewing machine that I bring with me just to do things on the fly. And I will also have steamers, and I will have assistants that help me do all of that. I will have simple things like tools that I can um, adjust stuff. And yeah, so it's kind of like a workroom at the back usually for me, because everything I want to be perfect. So I'm not going to pin dresses on a model if it's not going to fit the way that I want it to fit. I literally will sew it and close it and alter it there and then.
Mhm.
So
So for the models, so you've done a casting call already, or is that still too we still too far out? And then is it I'm assuming it's a virtual call, or is it something where you're going to go out into New York and the models that are there, you're going to pick from that pool of
um so the casting call is in July, which I will be out of the country. But I'm pretty easy. I usually I know when people that do fashion shows select models, they know what fashion designers look for. And I know whatever models they get, and if they choose them for me, I'll be happy with that. And but when I'm hoping that I will be able to select them by myself, because I have certain movements that I'm looking for in the models. So um so that being said, I don't know if I'm going to be at the casting call.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. And then
Yeah.
it's not normal to do like a virtual casting call, or potentially that was because I mean when you did the 2022 show, we were just coming out of COVID. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that was in person. And so I mean, have you ever done a virtual one, or has it just been always in person?
No, in person. I try to fly prior to the show,
Mhm.
and I like to meet the people that actually is doing the show, and I actually like to meet the models too. And so it's kind of tricky, because you never know what to expect, because you're not in the same state, you don't know what to expect, you don't know who's going to show up, like if they're going to have a lot of models show up, you fly all the way. And but usually there's a lot of models and people looking to models, so
Perfect.
yeah.
Awesome. So for this particular line that you're going to be showcasing out in New York Fashion Week in the fall, it's September, right? Or is it October?
It's in September 10th.
September. Okay. So after you showcase in New York, will you be coming back to showcase this in San Antonio?
um I might. I
Mhm.
have plans in the works. I have stuff in the works of doing a show in San Antonio. A lot of people's been asking. I'm planning and thinking of doing something. I don't know if I want to show the same things. A lot of people have said I should showcase it to show people what I've done for New York.
Mhm.
I may put a few pieces in there, some of the huge special pieces that's intricate. I might do that, but I'm not the person. I don't like to repeat. I like to just. I have done charity events where I would repeat, because they just ask me like a few days before the event, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna use this. I'm not gonna make a whole collection in 2 days. But if I'm kind of doing a huge fashion show, which I haven't done one here in San Antonio in a while, I kind of want it to be fresh and unique and for San Antonio people.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with me. It's been a long time coming. I
I
appreciate
know. I know.
you.
Thank
Is
you for
there,
having me.
yes, always. And is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I'm grateful that I get to do this talk with you. It's pretty fun and nice. I think I appreciate you wanting to put me on the platform, and I look forward to us, doing more work together. Who knows? Maybe I get you on the runway again.
Ooh, girl, I don't know about them high heels. We'll have to be walking in
I
flats.
can do I can do a show where you just walk barefoot. Don't worry, I can
There
come
we
up
go.
with an idea.
There we go.
You know, like the hippie look. I can do a hippie look. It's okay.
The boho look. We're down.
Yeah.
We're down. I got that. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. So before I let my guests leave, I always like to do a just for fun speed round. So are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So favorite material that you love to work with?
I like, oh, wow. I like lace, but I like conventional type designs. I like to take things that no one would think that it could make a dress, or no one, kind of like this back there. No
Mhm.
one can think that, it's wearable. I like to make things that people is like, oh, I would never thought of using this to make a dress. And that material, I don't know what it is because it's just what I see. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to make a dress out of that. So, but other than unconventional type materials, I love lace. I love how it's very forgiving. You can do things with it. You can cut part of the lace and use it as a replique, and you can do all kind of stuff with lace. It's beautiful. It's see-through.
It
So
gives you a
yeah.
little oomph.
Yep, yep.
I love it. Okay, so your best design that you have felt was your number one. I know that you said earlier you're like, oh, everybody else thinks it's a masterpiece, but not really to me. What was the one masterpiece that you feel was definitely masterpiece to you?
Oh my goodness. I remember this dress that I did. Oh, it's just there's a few, but um I would say maybe one or two in my life that I think it's a masterpiece. And I did a high-low dress, which was high at the front, low at the back, and it was not as popular. That was like, oh my God, 2010, I don't know how long. And it was like a royal blue, your favorite color.
Mhm.
And it got a lot of attention because it had lace and taffeta, and it had all of that, and it had the puffiness in the surrounding of it. I think that one was one of my masterpiece, my top favorite.
Okay, we'll have to post that in the feed. I know
Yeah,
you've got pictures of it. We'll have to
I'll
post
send
it in
you
the feed.
pictures of it. Yes.
For sure. Okay, so favorite color.
Ooh, oh my God, I don't have a favorite color.
You're like the entire rainbow and all
Yep.
things in between.
Yeah, yep. I used to think I like turquoise, and I used to think I love pink, and then I'm like, no, I love all colors. I
Okay.
just love colors. That's why my stuff is so colorful. And
Yeah.
whenever I design and make something with a dark color, sometimes I don't think it comes out as good as, something colorful. I don't know why. So I love the brightness, just like the Caribbean. Everything is colorful and bright, and all the flowers. And so I really don't have a favorite color. I'm a colorful of all colors.
There you go.
A colorful lover of all colors.
There you go. There you go. All right. So when you're not designing, what's your favorite thing to do to relax?
I love spending time with my family, just maybe sitting in the backyard, and if not watching like an outdoor movie, or just watching a movie with the boys and my husband. But my favorite alone time is going to the gym.
Yep.
That's my
Letting it
little,
out.
yeah, and I'm in my own little bubble because I have my headphones on and I don't even care what is going on around me. So I feel like it's kind of like my alone time, and but relaxing at home, just being in my PJs, and just don't care how I look. This is my favorite time, is to be at home.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Glenda,
Yeah.
thank you so much again. And for everybody else, we will see you guys next week. Take care. Have a
Take
great
care.
weekend.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.